Hi Saugus parents, my name is Marty Fricke. I am the head counselor here at Saugus High School. The Saugus High School Guidance Department is proud to announce the creation of the Saugus Guidance YouTube channel. This channel will enable us to communicate directly with parents regarding important news and information from the counselors regarding their students in the areas of registration, college admission, study skills, and more throughout the school year. So, now that the spring semester is here, the counselors will be registering our current 10th grade students for the 2011-2012 school year, beginning the first week in February through the end of March. Mrs. Rose and Mrs. Gasparo are counselors for the class of 2013, and they will be meeting with all of their students individually through their English classes. They will be setting up their laptop computers in the English Buildings core and seeing students one-on-one out of their English classes to help them choose their classes for next year. When your student meets with their counselors, we will be giving them this, our 4-page course offerings worksheet. As you can see, we have some very important information on the first page regarding graduation requirements, college entrance requirements, and August registration. After your student meets with their counselor and brings this document home, please review this page with your student so everyone is clear about what requirements must be fulfilled to graduate and apply to college. On the inside of the course offerings worksheet is a registration worksheet that we will go over with your student, helping them to choose their classes for next year. It is very important that all students take this process very seriously. After we meet with your student, we will ask them to bring this registration worksheet home and review it with you. And there's a very important note here under the registration worksheet that I would like to emphasize, where it says, counselors will make every effort to give every student their top elective choices. However, electives are never guaranteed. Students will not be able to change their schedule once the semester has begun, except in the case of errors or omissions. This is one reason why the registration process is so important. Our hope is every student carefully and thoughtfully plan their program with their counselor for next year so they are placed in classes that best fit their needs and goals. If a student does not take this process seriously and chooses an elective, for example, because their friend chose it and they don't like it, they will not be able to drop the class once school begins in August. And if the class is a year-long class, which most of our elective classes are, they will have to remain in the class for the entire school year. While the registration process begins now, all students are urged to thoroughly research their choices for classes next year and take full advantage of meeting with their counselor during August registration, because that will be the last chance they have to change their schedule before school begins. Once the classes begin in August, students will not be able to change their schedules except if there is an error or a class was omitted. On the bottom of the registration worksheet, we have course offerings for next school year. The counselors urge all students and parents to visit the Saugus High School website and click on the link to Catalog of Courses, where they can read over descriptions of all the courses offered next year. This will help the students make informed choices for their classes. Now, on the next 2 pages of our 4-page course offering worksheet, we have a list of all the classes offered at Saugus for next year. They are divided into academic areas such as English, social studies, mathematics, science, etc., as well as elective choices. Finally, on the last page, there's a place for students to write down notes that they would like to ask their counselor while they meet with their counselor. So, to review the registration process, Mrs. Rose and Mrs. Gasparo will be going out to the sophomore English classes during the months of February and March and meeting with their students individually to program them for next year. They will be reviewing their choices on our 4-page course offering worksheet, which the student will take home after our meeting to go over with their parents. Students are free to visit with their counselor and change their course requests throughout the spring and during registration in August. However, once classes have begun next August, there will be no schedule changes except in the case of errors and omissions. The counselors would like to have all parents involved in the course selection process. After your student has met with their counselor, please review their choices with them and feel free to contact their counselor with any questions. So in conclusion, Mrs. Rose and Mrs. Gasparo look forward to meeting with each and every one of our current sophomores over the next 2 months to plan their programs for next year. We welcome and encourage parent involvement throughout the process. Thank you for your attention, and take care from the Saugus High School Guidance Department.